Hi there, I go by Muzzy on the internet, though you might know me as Muzzical or Musical depending on the circumstance. In this video I'd like to talk about a topic which I feel is interesting and one that I have adequate authority to cover, which is of course the puzzling design of Colin's V-Skill 2 and its bad balancing with the V-Skill 1 she was designed to have in Season 2. I would first like to show off and compare both V-Skills. Following this I would like to give my 2 cents on why V-Skill 2 is a bad choice for a move in Colin's kit, conceptually speaking, and then I would like to show off an example of a character in a different game, which I think tackles the problem much better. Hope you like it. V-Skill 1 is a forward moving attack that's +2 on hit and -8 on block. The catch is it has a parry hurt box which will increase the damage and grant a great knockdown if it's activated. V-Skill 2 is a real command grab that does nice damage and applies Colin's unique freeze effect, stopping the opponent's stun from depleting until they hit Kolin. The catch is, it's 26 frame startup, which is slower than most of this game's overheads, and its knockdown returns the players to neutral. We will look at both V-Skills one at a time in each use case to easily compare them. Use of these moves in neutral is pretty risky in most situations, as you can get heavily punished. There are, however, some specific neutral uses where V-Skill 1 sees great use, such as being a rewarding anti-air for far jumps, or fishing to hit Dalsim or Dalsim-esque far normals. Occasionally you can use it to get a juggle from an aerial hail connect. Next, let's look at combo ability. Combo ability wise, both of these V-Skills can be used to end her stand medium kick target combo, which is her main meterless medium confirm. Here, it is important to note that any TC or parry successful V-Skill 1 can be cancelled to her V-triggers to extend the combo, while V-Skill 2 always ends your combo. It is obvious that you would rather have the Oki from V-Skill 1 here in most matchups, especially against Fireball characters who tend to dominate Kolin. This is one of the main reasons V-Skill 2 sees so little use. Oki is valuable, so much so that in the recent patch they gave Kolin the ability to cancel her stand medium kick to heavy punch hands for Oki from this very confirm. It is not a super notable change for V-Skill 1 Kolin as the knockdown is nearly identical. On top of this, V-Skill 1 has many uses as a juggle ender to build V-meter. This is seldom used by Kolin players, but is an option V-Skill 2 doesn't even offer. When it comes to V-trigger activation, only V-Skill 1 TC grants an activate on block, and it's a very good one. It builds V-meter, so you can use it to activate when you're a smidge short of any other activate. Next, I'd like to show off a specific setup that both V-Skills have access to after medium or high parry into light hail. The basic threat is the projectile doesn't hit as soon as they're up, so a low medium kick can easily be confirmed into dash up combo with the falling projectile. But if they crouch block to guard against the crouch medium kick, doing immediate V-Skill 1 hits just before the hail, so the block stun from the hail gives you plus frames to continue offense. Similarly, doing instant V-Skill 2 grabs them before the hail makes contact. With V-Skill 1 only, it also baits reversals. To call this out, the opponent must stand block so that the hail hits before the V skills. Here you can see that V skill 1 merely ends your turn, while V skill 2 gets punished. While the freeze mechanic can be fun in matchups where you beat your opponent in neutral without much trouble, it's not so much a win for V skill 2 as it is a situation where it doesn't matter which one you pick. For example, while playing Keep Away against Zangief, you might note that Oki can be risky, and having freeze on him for a potentially long time could be rewarding, but V-Skill 1 also provides a way to get great reward from every one of Zangief's slow jumps that he might try to do to get in against your heavy pokes. Not to mention that if he does get in and starts his vortex on you, the freeze ends up being wasted. As I hope I've made clear to you, the only advantage of V-Skill 2 is that it is unblockable. This being heavily reduced to a gimmick due to its very reactable startup. The reward is also not very impressive compared to a good Oki situation that can help you keep your momentum. I'd like to spend the next bit of this video talking about why I think giving her this move was a bad idea conceptually. Kolin is a character with a setup projectile, meaning if she had a traditional command grab, she would inevitably have some setups where she uses it with a projectile to cover herself, making pseudo-unblockables possible, as to avoid the command grab the opponent would have to get hit by the projectile. Thus, when designing her command grab, they had to make it sufficiently slow so that no such setups exist. Even with her hard knockdown hail setup, she has no way to grab you in time for the damage to be inescapable. But as a direct result, she has a grab that is very reactable, and thus its use is pretty limited. For such a command grab to be useful, it would have to not simply be a grab. Perhaps allowing Kara cancelability to Vanity Step would make it a pretty interesting move, and it would fit Colin's style, but the devs didn't want any of that. Finally, I'd like to show off how a different fighting game developer, French Bread, gave a slow command grab to their neutral-focused setup projectile character, Byakuya. See, just like Kolin, Byakuya can set up projectiles on the opponent's wake-up, namely his webs. And just like Kolin, Byakuya has a very reactable command grab. Therefore, just like Kolin, the command grab had to be slow enough to make it so that he doesn't have any incredibly strong setups with his webs. However, the devs understood this handicap and also gave him a fake version where he doesn't do the grab and instead sets a web. In this way, they made sure that the special move retains its usefulness, as just reacting to it doesn't net you a guaranteed way to shut it down. It disappoints me just how much of an afterthought this move really is, but I guess the animation is cool. That's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. This project was a lot more work than I had initially anticipated, to be honest. I definitely have a new appreciation for people like Befale who make these kinds of things well. Thank you for watching.